In today's video, we're continuing our coverage on the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The MCU Deadpool 3, aka Deadpool and Wolverine, is coming out this summer and we can't freaking wait. In this video, we're going to talk about a bunch of Marvel stuff, predominantly talking about Deadpool 3 and some other bits of news that's going around the Marvel community. So, yo, what is good, YouTube? Warstu, if you're new, make sure to never miss any of the Marvel, DC, Kaiju, Monsterverse, pop culture-based content that I try to cover on a daily basis. If you could, subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, and let me know how freaking excited are you to see Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds going back and forth for 2 hours. Also, become a channel member for less than 99p or less than $1. It really does help support the channel. Also, check us out on Instagram at Warstu to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. Check us out on Twitter, WarstuG, or X.com, because Elon Musk can't afford to change the handle. Imagine spending all that money changing it to X.com and it's still Twitter.com. Right, let's get into today's video. So although we've already had a huge tease trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine, we've not had the official trailer one. So a recent report going around from Trailer Track, which really is a quite reliable source when it comes to trailer release dates and trailer information. They used to be really reliable. I've not really seen their information going out around recently until now. So according to them, we are going to be getting another trailer for Deadpool early May. Now, I mean, I hate to be this guy, but it's just everyone is throwing when the trailer is going around. You're going to see so much information, so many videos about what's going to happen. Oh, trailer 2. Although technically it'll be trailer 1 because the teaser trailer don't count. Trailer. The next trailer is going to focus on Wolverine fully. No, I think they're really going to hold back all the Wolverine stuff personally. I think that would be a better way to go. Because although there's a lot of official leaks out there from when they were filming out in the open in England, where everyone thinks the whole movie's going to take place in the void, which is not actually going to be the case. No one actually knows that much about this movie because the stuff they filmed inside studios, out on sound stages, and none of that kind of information has actually leaked. So we've got some new information going around, which coincides with old information, which I somewhat believe it. So if you remember months ago, in fact last year, there was information going around that the Chosen Ones are going to be picked. Toad was a chosen one. Tom Holland's Spider-Man was a chosen one. So information was going around saying this movie was essentially about the TVA picking up the prime versions of each hero to create a multiversal army to take out Kang. Because let's face it, Kang is still the overall villain, although they might bring someone else in, like the Beyonder, or Doctor Doom, or Annihilus, or something like that. So that's essentially what everyone thought the movie was around, and Hugh Jackman was eventually going to agree to join Deadpool and go and recruit a bunch of people, and this was supposed to set up Avengers Secret War, which does make sense, because if they are somewhat loosely following the comic book storyline, there is battle world, there is heroes and villains fighting each other. So that was said somewhat true, or at least people thought it was. So the new information going around, and I think it's interesting because a lot of people don't question information. They're like, okay, cool, that sounds awesome. But realistically, the new information going around makes no actual sense. So a new multiversal concept set to debut in Deadpool and Wolverine, explained more clearly. Now, respectfully, Daniel RPK, this does not make any sense, realistically. It's called an anchor. So an anchor's like a chosen one, I guess you could say. And it means that when that being dies, their universe will start to decay until it vanishes. The process takes time. It's not happening right after the person dies. Okay, so if any given person dies, our whole universe dies. Interesting. So everyone is saying that Tom Holland's Spider-Man is going to be the chosen one, the anchor. Okay, so these rules would have already had to be in place during Avengers Endgame, but obviously no one knew this. So both Doctor Strange and both Tom Holland's Spider-Man, I have to say Tom Holland because there's a bunch of Spider-Man. Everyone wants Toby, all right? So you could argue that if there was going to be an anchor of the main universe, if you like, it would be either Doctor Strange or Spider-Man. Both of them disappeared during the snap for literal years. I mean, yeah, you could argue Tony Stark was the anchor. Sure, but the most recent reports going around state it is definitely Spider-Man. So are you telling me 4 or 5 years is not long enough for said place to decay. There is just so many plot holes in this story. And also, this kind of makes me think that I don't think Cassandra Nova is actually the overall villain. I guess you could say Charles X's evil twin sister. And in this movie, according to recent information, she is going to have Magneto's helmet. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, I'm really looking forward to this movie. But this literally makes no sense, right? Because Peter Parker was snapped away. So if he dies, he did die, so that would have meant said main Earth would have vanished, right? But then what happens if they die from natural causes? Does that change the rules? And then there's just too many plot holes in this. Obviously, it's cool to go over like plot information and alleged. I mean, from what I understand, I've spoke to a few people, and this, concept of there being an anchor, and if they die, their universe starts to decay, but not instantly. Okay, 5 years, 4 years is not instantly. That's a hell of a long time because these movies have to happen in real time, realistically. So the information is true, but the rules kind of, if you ask me, to be honest. And I don't know if they will, because also you've got to understand, if you've watched the Marvel's post-credit scene, oh my god, there's someone else in a different universe which introduced the X-Men. And does that mean that's causing an incursion for her to be there? It's interesting. So what I'm saying is, I don't actually think Cassandra Nova is actually the overall villain. At first, I did think it would be a variant of Deadpool, but I'm starting to think it's actually Paradox, because we understand, if you've watched the teaser trailer for Deadpool 3, is Deadpool is going to have to try and escape the TVA's kind of sanctioning, or wherever he is, really, because there's a scene where he's fighting the TVA. He's going to have to break out from the TVA. But why is the question. So I'm thinking Paradox is probably most likely going to be the villain, and not actually Cassandra Nova. Because sometimes the villains are actually the good guys, but you don't actually see them as the good guys because they're dubbed as the villain. No one's actually said she's the villain. They've just said the Emma is playing Cassandra Nova. But that doesn't necessarily mean she's the villain. You gotta start thinking for yourself and read in between the line. It would be more interesting if Paradox from the TVA was the villain, but we're not going to know until the movie comes out. I'm just spitballing him. But for me, personally, I don't think Cassandra Nova is the villain. Let me know down below if you think she is. I don't actually think she is. So this anchor chosen one does line up with the old rumor. We know somehow we've got to get from Deadpool 3 to Avengers 5 to Avengers 6, and then boom, the timeline will be reset and everything will explode. And what makes me laugh is I read something going, oh my god, they're definitely making Tom Holland Spider-Man the chosen one, so he can't leave the MCU till at least Secret Wars. I'm thinking, okay, Secret Wars is literally probably 4 or 5 years away, so that's not even long term. Anyway, and then it does make me laugh because people are like, there will be 2 post-credit scenes for Deadpool. Really? You really know this? Like, how? And that's before you factor in, oh my god, there's reshoots in May. Are they going to reshoot the whole movie? I don't think they are, but they did reshoot Doctor Strange 2. They are literally changing the whole of Captain America 4. Maybe they can add Captain America in. That would be cool. There's a report going around, Bucky Barnes won't be in Captain America 4. He was never in Captain America 4. But just because there's reshoots, I get it. People are like, yeah, but they changed that ending at Ant-Man 3. They literally changed the whole movie of Doctor Strange 2. They literally are changing the whole of Captain America 4. So Disney don't normally do outside public test screenings. The test screenings that Disney usually does is with employees. I mean, I guess you're thinking, yeah, but how does this kind of information get out? Yeah, the information still gets out even though it is in-house test screening. I don't believe they're going to change that much the movie because the information going around says that Kevin Feige's really happy with all this information to the point where he's going to let Sean Levy, the director, direct other movies. I mean, half the reason this movie will probably be good is because of Ryan Reynolds. Let's be honest, it's not just because of the director. So I think this is their only one movie that is pretty safe in terms of what they do. Now, there's so many reports. Gambit, Channing Tatum is going to be in the movie because he replied to a Hugh Jackman post where he said something. I'm spitballing, I read this today. When he said something like daddy or something like that, which I do find fascinating because yes, there will be insane cameos, but it's realistic. You got to be Fantastic Four and X-Men cameos. Don't expect Tom Cruise Iron Man, although I would love that. There's a lot of people thinking that Wolverine and Hulk are going to get into some massive fight. I mean, I've spoken to people and It's basically like, maybe not. So there's information going around about a World War Hulk movie. No, there's not, because Universal owns the right. And this post here just backs up that it's so evident. If Universal did not have the rights to Hulk, we would be getting a standalone World War Hulk movie with Maestro Hulk. I made a Maestro Hulk video like 5 years ago. I tell you, Maestro Hulk is going to come at some point. So there's some information going around the Twitter sphere that says the following. Last I heard, it's in development as an Avengers film. Yeah, because you can't use Hulk in a standalone capacity. But what about She-Hulk? She-Hulk's slightly different. That's not actually Hulk, is it? Let's be honest. So last I heard, oh my God, why? Were you in a bar? Were you in a cocktail bar and someone was like, yeah, guess what I heard? I heard that they're going to make a World War Hulk movie and it's got to be an Avengers movie. So what you're saying is there's an Avengers movie that could star the World War Hulk be in it, which is interesting. So I do believe this concept because some of the more respectable people I talk to behind the scenes have said the same thing. No, or talked to Alex Perez, but Alex Perez said pretty much the same thing. Let's just say hypothetically that the whole anchor entity bit is real hypothetically. And let's just say hypothetically it's less cooler than it actually sounds because it's the equivalent of your universe gets boring since his character died. So it's decaying, which again, the whole Spider-Man concept, he disappeared for 5 years. I believe 4 or 5 years. I can't remember exactly what it was. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, there's going to be some pretty wild Deadpool rumors and leaks coming out probably over the next month or two. And yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about some stuff that I can't talk about right now, but it will be cool. And yeah, a new Deadpool 3 trailer, but potentially in May. I'm not going to say confirmed or verified, but that it would be interesting. Let me know. Is Paradox the actual villain? I think it'd be more interesting if Paradox is the villain, although they're kind of hyping Cassandra Nova to be the villain, but I don't think she is. So like always, guys, check us out on Instagram at Warstu, check us on Twitter, WarstuG, and I'll catch you in another video, guys, very soon. Catch ya later.